The Ukrainian armed forces say that they have liberated another village, the seventh since President Zelensky acknowledged over the weekend that the long-awaited counteroffensive against the Russians had begun. The communities reportedly regained a relatively small, relatively small, and the Russians have yet to confirm the losses on their side. Our international editor, Jeremy Bowen, has more.
President Zelensky said this would be Ukraine's year of victory. That is unlikely. Even their allies' most optimistic scenarios don't see this offensive ending the war. As a start, Ukrainians say they've recaptured 7 villages in Donbass in eastern Ukraine. BBC Verify has identified 5 of them. It is not a significant breakthrough, and we've calculated that the villages are still more than 10 miles before the first of the network of defenses that the Russians have been preparing for months. Now, releasing video of a victory, however small, does make good propaganda. But the challenge ahead for Ukraine is turning local tactical success into victories that change the strategic balance of the war. And that means advancing without the kind of air cover NATO soldiers would get to break through layers of prepared defences. Now, it is early days in this offensive that could last for months. The main attack, when it does come, might be further south, somewhere near Zaporizhia, trying to cut the land bridge that connects Donbass with Crimea, which Russia has occupied since 2014. Now, the Ukrainians post carefully selected videos. Here they're taking Russians prisoner. Ukraine doesn't release its own casualty figures, but many experienced Ukrainian soldiers have been killed. Large numbers of their replacements are untested in combat. Now, these Russian images, authenticated by BBC Verify, show specialist Leopard tanks and other armour provided by NATO, either destroyed or badly damaged. The Ukrainians will be asking for more equipment and much more ammunition from NATO. Wars cannot be won without logistics and supply. One big question is, what does victory look like? President Zelensky says it's evicting Russia from every part of occupied land. On its own, this offensive will not do that. The war will continue, whatever happens. Both sides believe they can win. Neither wants a deal. NATO hasn't publicly defined its idea of victory, but it's now clear that NATO countries face some very difficult decisions. They will have to spend much more on defence, ramping up arms production, and living with the risks of a long war if they really are determined to back Ukraine all the way.